Thank you for coming and listening. So a little bit about myself, just a few quick words. So while I am with the Azim Premji Foundation at this moment, most of my working career has been in the IT industry. So I have been with Wipro and with HP. And so this part of the town is also very familiar to me because HP offices used to be right here on Cunningham Road till some time ago. The topic for today's talk is more around you. So I'd like to ask that if you interact and you go along with the flow as we are talking and respond, it'll probably be a bit more useful for you. So what I'd like to do is to start by saying I'm a doer. Nowadays I'm a doer. I used to be more of a manager earlier. But as a doer, I conduct programs, I facilitate sessions, and I therefore do. So there are doers, and you could say doers. And if I was managing other doers, for example, a project manager does some work, but also manages other people who are doing something. So in terms of a role, she or he is a driver. So I'm just using this nomenclature to establish something. And could go a step further and have a manager to whom other project managers are reporting, or even other enabler managers are reporting. So manager's manager, if you want to call it. And let's call him an enabler for the moment. And then independent of all these, somebody who's like the helmsman or who's thinking which direction this ship needs to be steered to, let's call him a strategist. How many doers in this room? Okay. How many drivers? Okay. How many enablers? Okay. Can I have the enablers, please? Once again, I saw some tentative hands. Okay. And how many strategists?
It's a partial role. It's not a full.
Partial. So what I'd like you to do is to take a minute and think about when did you last think. And what I mean is really think, not listening to music in the traffic and cursing everything around you. That's not good. It could be for a personal reason, it could be for a professional reason, I don't care. But can you just use the second bullet which says, without speaking, your thoughts remain half unclear. Happens to you? So many times we start speaking and the act of speaking is what crystallizes the thought. It's there, half formed, sitting right there. So turn to a neighbor next to you, pair up, and can you just explain to your partner, when did you last think? Really think? Can you just describe when was it, if it's not too personal? Take a moment, please. Find somebody next to you. Please switch over. If you haven't yet switched over, please switch over. Hands for this week? Any hands for this week? When did you really think? Was it this week?
Yes.
Okay. Last month. So this includes this week. So if you said this week, also say last month. I'm okay with that.
What kind of thing is it?
Anything.
No, I think you always think. So is it about getting to a conclusion, or is it?
Let me answer that.
Or is it thinking about?
Let me answer that. Something that led to action. If you thought and you left it at that, it doesn't really count too hard in my book. If it translated into some kind of an action, I'm good with it. Last month? Okay. Okay, so this is how it should be. If you are raising your hands, and that basically means you've been thinking things and then you've been acting on them, you don't really need this session. Okay, this is basically a reminder for that. And if you already remember it, cool. But sometimes we forget a little bit. We know it, but we forget it. So if somebody reminds, jostles you a little bit, and you start thinking, maybe I should again start doing what I was doing earlier, my purpose is served. Okay? Is it readable at the back?
Yes.
I can read it out loud, but it spoils half of it. And it's not too good to begin with. So. When you start working in the foundation, you start drawing kurtas instead of drawing shirts. So my question to you is, what does it take to develop new skills? You already said you've been doing stuff. Last month, kuch socha pick kiya. So what does it take to develop? Can you generalize from there? What does it take to develop new skills?
New thought process.
Thought process to what? To?
Execution.
It's more about understanding what you are trying to solve.
Okay. So first point is you need to understand what problem you need to solve or what skill you need to build.
What problem you need? What is the problem?
What-
You need to face a problem.
And this problem is at a personal level or at a organizational level or?
Any
level.
That's too general. When you,
It's
me,
personal. It should be
Rich,
personal.
wants to develop a new skill, it's personal or professional? Personal what? Personal as in what I would like to develop or what I am good at? Or what I know I can easily be good at?
Actually,
It's
what I know
what
I
problem
can
I'm
easily be good
facing.
at, I can easily develop for to be and good at. That would be the first one.
But what if it is not needed by the organization?
See, it's a development of new skill which might not be always related to others. It is for me.
Okay, so can you make an intersection of a few things instead of saying just one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so these good old Venn diagrams, when else will you use them? Okay. So one is what? You said like? You said like.
Yeah, like to be good at,
Okay.
that I can easily be good at. Easily to be good at.
Yeah. So either I like it or it's easy, it's that kind of things. What else?
Another one is the risk-taking factor, or okay, I will spend some more time.
What is needed by the external
Yeah.
participant,
Needed by who?
organization?
Okay, so we could say needed by the organization and so if I like doing this and it is needed by the organization, I've got this sweet spot covered already. But by mistake I drew 3 circles, so I'm wondering if I can fit something else also over here.
For the society?
That's for people like me who are already
Will it help me in future?
No, what is there in me? For me?
I may not
If I
like
do
it.
this, what?
Huh?
Yeah.
Anybody, go ahead, go for it.
I need to do something.
Yeah.
What is there
It
in
may
me?
not be easy, it may be difficult, but I have to acquire that for
But-
my betterment in future. whatever.
So the future me or what I would like to be,
Yeah.
right? My betterment is pointing towards the future me, where I am headed in my future. Okay? So the point was, I've got to think about, first of all, the act of developing a skill begins by figuring out what. This is what we said, right? And then we said, maybe it is in this sweet spot. It will be really cool if this is something that I like and it's easy. So that means basically I take inventory of my strengths and weaknesses and my preferences. And I also take inventory of where I'd like to be going. And I intersect both of those with another thing, what the organization needs. Right? So I'm reminding you that if all these three are in overlap, you are more likely to stay on course, stay motivated, because how fast do you develop skills? Takes time. Takes perseverance. And sometimes you get your own priorities, your own work pressures, and you can't go back to it immediately. So you need to stay the course. How long would you say a skill takes to develop? Kannada, suppose you wanted to, how many of you are learning Kannada? Okay. So how long do you estimate it will take?
Depends on how much
How fast we are going on that? It depends.
Okay, what's good enough a number?
3
Huh?
6 months.
3?
Years.
3 years. God gave us only 2 years. God, it's too far in the horizon is what I'm trying to say. Short, what do our businesses, what is the business rhythm? What do every quarter, huh?
Not even quarter nowadays. 6 weeks.
So I'm pitching what? 3 quarters. 3 quarters manager is how much?
9 months.
9 months. So that's the first aspect of 3 quarters manager. You are thinking that you want to develop a skill in the next 9 months. In 3 quarters, if you can develop a skill that is in this sweet spot, you're not obsoleting yourself. You're more likely to stay on course. Any questions, comments, observations?
What is too big a time?
Too big a time?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of things that you are looking at.
Okay.
But in this fast moving world, 9 months, forget it, 9 months.
Give me an example of something that can be done in 1 quarter.
No, you break down your skills, no? Maybe break down your tasks.
Actually, I do a program called Passionate Work, in which I look for people to identify a single definitive change. And yes, exactly like you said, I urge them to make that change in 1 quarter or 100 days. And the idea is you catch fire after that. If you make a whole 9-month plan and you only realize success at the end of 9 months, bore ho jata hai, boss, it doesn't go anywhere. But if you achieve that success, maybe you just lose those first 5 kgs in those 3 months. That itself becomes a huge motivator and you are ready to take on bigger challenges. Again and again, I have seen people do a personal change in the first 3 months and then come back and say, I want a bigger professional work-related challenge. And my pitch to managers, people who are trying to evaluate whether this is worth the time, letting a person attempt a personal change in professional time. Is it worth it? It's worth it because those other 2 quarters add up as well. I'm assuming you can read this, so I don't need to speak out the same stuff. Some skills make you stronger and others reduce your weaknesses. Which ones are better?
Next one.
Huh? Next one, bole to?
That is the weakness. That is the weakness.
But isn't it more sexy to go for develop your strengths, have those big bulging biceps, and generally you crack everything inside, be a big cat?
But the challenge is
Challenge is it the challenge?
no.
Weaknesses are not sexy. I assure you, they are very, very. You're humbled by them all the time. If you're seriously looking yourself in the mirror, you know. It's more best ignored. Right? I don't know. I'm not happy about my weight. Yeah, I tend to think I'm still a thin guy.
It's more like you building up your defenses. So you say you're working on your strengths, you're
situation.
In a situation, you may need to work on something more than that. But yeah, all of it.
Okay, so those of you who are interested in exploring this further can Google for personal quality, and the keywords are waste reducers and activity expanders. In personal quality parlance, some of this weakness related stuff fits in the waste reducer bucket. And some of the go for the big shots, build on your strengths, fits in the activity expander bucket. Not always, I'm generalizing, broadly generalizing because I want to convey the concept. So those guys will tell you addressing your weaknesses is more big bang for the buck. Reducers. Okay? So आजकल तो you can do it instantly. If you join hands with others who are doing similar things, it's more likely to stick. It's more likely to happen. So it is not about a competitive advantage across the 4 other colleagues whom you think you are competing with. We are all in a global pond. So if you think that you would rather not take the other 3 with you and make it so that you are more differently placed with respect to them, that really doesn't give you good bang for the buck. Okay? The feedback loop of success, I already referred to it, so let me not spend too long. Let me show you another one instead. Are you done reading?
Absolutely true.
So, when you say 3 quarters, you also say, I used to live in that quarter in the colony, remember? So those are also 3 quarters. So I'm looking to see as a manager, how many quarters are you living in? So let's say that I said you are living in the technology quarter. What does that mean? To you, what does it mean? What are you able to do with technology that gives you this stature that somebody is saying you are living in the technology quarter?
Cutting edge technology.
Cutting edge,
Only
okay.
the work that I'm doing. I think that qualifies for me to be in that technology.
So you work with technology, that means you spend your time and your resources with technology. What else? It's important to have these distinctions. Is your time going into it? Are your resources going into it? Are you exchanging information from them or with them?
Contributing.
All these could be possibilities of saying you are in that quarter.
Contributing to-
Time, resources, information, what else? These are the raw building blocks of everybody's effort, work that you put in, right? यही होता है ना?
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you put in time, you put in resources, you put in the information, or you extract the information. What else?
Use it.
Huh?
Use it with your whatever you want to do. Whether personal or
You achieve results,
Yeah, you achieve.
and in the process you build skills.
Yeah.
So let's say broadly you live in a quarter if these are 4 or 5 things that you are doing. So if your job is a technologist's job and you are achieving results with technology, if you are building your skills in technology, if the resources that you spend, your resources that you spend, not necessarily your wallet, but on behalf of the company also, are technology related, if the information that you do back and forth with others is technology related, these are all indicators of you live in the technology quarter. So let's now broaden the question and say what other quarters are possible. Because 3 quarter तो बोला ही था ना, and just 2 of them up till now over here, one technology and one customer. So if I don't want to repeat it, but all these 4-5 things that we spoke about, if we were doing it with customers, then you could say you live in the customer quarter also. But 3 quarters बोला था तो 1 quarter और चाहिए.
Family life,
Personality.
Certainly. And there can be many ways of looking at it. And please don't forget what you said, and I will go back and add this to my presentation for sure. But even in the work environment, there are multiple dimensions that we all play. And remember that lady's point for 3 quarters was, even if you kept one constant and changed the others, or if you kept everything else constant but just changed one, you would have the ability to make some kind of a difference to whatever you are doing. We might think we are all constrained, tied down, bogged down, completely limited by our circumstances. There is no space to do anything. All I have to do is to work 24/7 on the job that is assigned to me. Can I explore if any one of these can be changed? थोड़ा ज़्यादा हवा में हो गया शायद, इसलिए अपने आप
Switching on. It's on. It's not.
And you need to switch it off.
And your trusted partner with whom you had the previous conversation is right next to you. And why don't you talk about at least 2 possibilities? One, which is the easiest to change, and there is a Chotu help list, and one more extra point, the quarter of your own personal life. Okay? Some one change that you can make over there, or some one change that you could make in any of these. So, do you think I need to explain any of these? For example, in a matrixed organization, if you have multiple bosses, and how you work differently with one of those bosses is a change. For up till now, out of sight, out of mind has been your motto, and then you decide that this guy who's in Charlottesville also deserves my attention and needs a closer reach too. That's a change that we are talking about. Or you could say working styles, strong ties and weak ties. Strong ties are people you exchange resources with. Weak ties are people you only exchange information but not resources with. So if you take stock of who all you exchange information with, it's all your Facebook friends, your Twitter colleagues, your LinkedIn pals, all those guys are over there. So please turn to your partner next to you, and if you don't mind confiding, please share with him what would be the easiest change for you to make if you had to change one of these dimensions, and what would have the most impact. And before that, give it some thought, please. Have you had a chance to talk, or somebody needs more time? Okay, so 6 birds are sitting on a wire, and you decide to shoot 4 of them. How many remain?
None.
Right?
Yeah.
But you just decided, you were not shooting at all, yeah?
Telepathy. All 6.
Telepathic is different, so if you have those skills, then I also need to start. My question was, you just decided to shoot them, and you have assumed, and it is very good, I'm glad to hear that the moment you decide, you see no gap between thought and action. That's better than first doing and then thinking. So the point is, just deciding or just thinking about something, even if it is 3 quarters manager and you figured out what more quarters you can play, doesn't mean anything. It is what you do after that. And in that sense, it really is about picking up and then acting on it. Okay? It's a bit dark over here, but bars are usually dark. And therefore, the question to ask yourself, and I think it's an important question that you must ask. In spite of being a manager, and even if you aren't a manager, it's okay, you're still entitled to all kinds of thought processes. How can you have fun at your job itself? And I don't mean fun in that hedonistic, just go and pass out. Fun can be good, clean, nice fun also. How can you make sure you're having fun? What's the recipe? Can you say that loudly?
That's an event, annual event.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, that's one, but what else?
Do
Sorry.
what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Don't look at what others feel.
Enjoy what you are doing.
Enjoy what you're doing.
Do what you like.
Both are yes. So हम क्यों भूल जाते हैं? Everybody seems to know the right answers. When I said I'll remind you stuff, I'm 100% sure I didn't tell you anything new. 100% certain about it. Yeah.
Laugh.
Laugh.
Don't take yourself too seriously. We all take ourselves pretty seriously, right? But we know the answers. And it's not the answers that I'm worried about. It's why, in spite of knowing the answers, we don't go for this. Very simple thing. Why? Think about it. I want you to think about it. It's important.
Is your question why are we not having fun?
In a way, yes. If you broadly generalize it, it could be that. But I'm asking you to think that we know we need to have fun, we need to be happy, and yet we are not. So what does it take to become happy?
Because of external factors that influence so much by
Are you sure it's external factors? Because if you compare two people under the same set of external factors, their happiness levels might be different. That's one way to look at it.
It's a perception on how we look at ourselves. That's one thing. And how others think about our title. So, for example, for a manager, if it is a manager, okay, he should be this. Parameters is set by someone else, which we perceive. Okay. Because of that, we try to stick to that perception level itself.
Why do we do that? Why do we do that?
So that we will blend with that particular sect, basically. Looking good.
basically I want to look good in front of others. I want to win the popularity contest.
Why do I want to win popularity contests?
That's ego.
Huh?
Ego, my ego is.
My ego, so me. And aren't we a bit full of ourselves? Had I started my talk by asking you, have you thought beyond yourself at any time? So I would say, let me allege that we do live in 3 quarters. And 24/7, our job almost seems to be to keep ourselves locked into these quarters. And if you want to be a 3 quarters manager, these are the 3 quarters that you need to come out of. You have to think beyond yourself. The moment you start thinking beyond yourself, it's a little bit possible to be happy. And I'm not saying do profound things and go to Himalayas or any such thing. Just think for your spouse, think for your child. It's relatively easy to do those things. Think for your colleagues, think for what your team is doing, believe in what your work's goals are, even if it requires all the innocence that you can muster to shut out all the cynicism that is attacking you from all sides. Sometimes an acquired innocence is actually a virtue. you have to do only one thing, I would say come out of these 3 quarters. Anyhow, I want to talk about 2 things. How do you measure you're having fun? And how do you actually motivate yourself to have fun? And then I'm done. So just like a car, when you want to make it go faster, you can look at the speedometer and say it's going at 60, I want to make it go at 80. You don't start turning the speedometer needle to make it go faster. It's no use, because the going faster parts of the car are not wired into the speedometer needle. So if you go to the bar, or you have a lot of laughing at an event, or you pretend you are happy, and inside you are not as jovial as you are pretending to be from outside, that's really not getting there. Though there is some science behind that also. The science behind that is the Pygmalion effect. That if you pretend or if you behave in a happy fashion, then it will instill some happiness in you. So it's not completely ruled out. But the truth is that whatever you are trying to do, the levers are somewhere else. And instead of I, me and myself, if you can think in terms of these 3 levers, how I can create a little bit more autonomy for myself, where I am responsible for whatever I am doing, not in terms of reporting it back to somebody and saying, look, I did it. No, I'm doing it. My baby. Being really good at it and seeing it connect to some purpose beyond I, me, and myself. In fact, these three are enemies. Either this will stay or that will stay. So if you create some space and bring some of that inside, you're on your way. Okay? Any questions? Any comments? Or somebody wants to add to this, because there are multiple ways of looking at the same thing.
So autonomy, and you are saying that we should give freedom to team members, or what is it?
You have to give freedom to yourself. I'm not talking about the freedom that you can give to others till you are ready and you have given freedom to yourself. How can you give something to someone which you yourself don't have?
So how do you generally get that for yourself?
I think you know the answer. And I'm saying I think you know the answer without knowing you, because we all know the answer. We give autonomy to ourselves not because we have earned it, but simply because it is our birthright. When we realize our birthright, it is there.
Wouldn't too much of autonomy give result to chaos?
I'm sorry?
Wouldn't too much of autonomy give result to chaos?
If everybody was giving it to everybody else, yes. But I'm only talking about giving it to yourself.
Yeah. Now again, that's also thinking of myself.
Yes, you're right. But when I get the autonomy, do I apply it on I, me, myself, or do I apply it over there?
I think autonomy here in this case is more of getting away from inhibitions, getting away from probably that I need to be known.
So-
then it's the reverse
That
conception.
is right.
You act, then the other one will happen automatically. It's not autonomy by the virtue of delegation or virtue of your power.
It's not. So can I quote Bhagat Kabir on this? And I have to say this in Hindi. Bhagat Kabir says, "Jab hum the, tab tum nahi. Jab tum the, tab hum nahi." He is obviously talking from a spiritual point of view and talking about God realization. But our sense of purpose, our sense of autonomy, even our sense of mastery, when we are filled with this, we cannot be pursuing that. And when we are pursuing those, then these are not there at all. In fact, the best way to forget these is to go after one of those three. Yes, no. I don't see you saying no in your body expressions, and So I'm assuming you're kind of okay with it. But the point is, being okay with it is really no point. You have to take it forward in some fashion. So I'd like to conclude, but before I conclude, I'd like you to spend a minute by yourself and think about if you had to do only one thing out of what you felt in this session, what would it be? And not in 9 months, but maybe just in 3 months. Just for 3 months, if you had to do one thing, what would it be? Then it's useful introspection. Otherwise, it's time pass here.
Just one question. For any particular role, there is a set of defined activities or responsibilities, right? So when I connect that to autonomy, right, I'm unable to connect that actually. How? So autonomy is nothing but freedom, but I'm bound with that a set of responsibilities for my role. So how do I?
Okay. So take two versions of I. Version 1.0 that says I am bound by these things, and therefore I do not have the autonomy to think beyond these. And take version 1.1 that says I will take those 3 quarters and I will add one of them to whatever I am doing. 1.1 has more autonomy. See, people say that don't grab more power. People say don't grab more rewards. But nobody says don't grab more responsibility, or don't take more on yourself, or become better, or reduce one of your weak points. Nobody says that. You can get autonomy from that direction also.
So autonomy is about taking more responsibilities than what is.
Yes.
Defined.
In Stephen Covey terms, it is about circle of influence. I am not saying that go sweep all the chess pieces off the board and start afresh. I am not saying कि boss को गोली मारो or any such thing. All circumstances remaining constant. Can you think a little differently, not about everything, but just about one thing? And instead of saying what is not possible, think in terms of what is possible, and translate that into some action over the next 100 days and see what happens out of that. That's all. No more. Very humble. छोटा सा शुरू करेंगे, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं करेंगे, पर जितना करेंगे उसको करेंगे, सोचेंगे. All right, thank you very much. Is there any questions? I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, thanks for listening.
There was one question that I asked him just before you came. It was he was a VP in Wipro and a CTO in HP, and what made him stop there and not go beyond that and get into foundations and education and stuff like that. And I think he had a very interesting answer.
So pure selfishness. I was bored. I was not challenged. I was not happy. I. And that's the reason why I felt I had to change. And the beauty of it is that once you start doing something else, or rather you get lost in either of those 3, autonomy, mastery, or purpose, this I kind of becomes irrelevant. That's all. I'm simply doing, okay, let me put it like this. I'm simply trying to keep a low gap between my thoughts, my speech, and my actions.
That's congruence.
Congruence. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
But you could still be congruent and do what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I could be as congruent elsewhere as anywhere. It doesn't matter. And if tomorrow I feel that no, I don't want to work in this sector and I want to go back to making more money, I'm not answerable to anybody else. I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it. Okay? So have fun. Take care. God bless you.
Thank you so very much.
He did it twice. Actually, he said that it will be my, I don't remember the exact word, but I would like to make myself useful. that's the kind of phrases that you really impressed, I think.
We should also thank Nibu for organizing this.
Appreciation. This you can carry. Flowers we manage.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rich.
Thank you for having me over, and nice knowing all of you. Thank you, Nims.